Beacon Hill is betting big these days with the recent opening of the state's second of what should be 3 casinos, joining an already open slots parlor, a longtime robust lottery program, and the possibility upcoming of legalized sports gambling. The question is the state betting too much on betting?
I would say no, because I think the tax revenue is going to be good.
Will you go to Encore now that it's open? I guess not if you don't gamble.
I mean,
huh?
I probably will once just to go there.
Yeah.
Any extra revenue for the state is a good thing,
Yeah.
and I think if it's giving some people jobs and things like
Yeah.
that, that's kind of my take on it.
Do you think there's too much emphasis, investment in gambling?
I think that there is, but you have to compete, though, with Rhode Island and Connecticut.
It seems like everybody gambles all the time.
People are going to gamble, whether that be on an app or whether that be, on their computer. Why shouldn't Massachusetts get some of that revenue?
All right, it's time for our Sunday Roundtable right now. We're joined this week by Boston Globe columnist Adrian Walker and Republican political analyst Patrick Griffin. Great to have you guys with us. I mean, let me ask you right off the bat. You were the state treasurer this morning. Is the state becoming too reliant on gambling, Adrian?
I think probably the state has as much gambling as it needs. I wouldn't say too reliant, but I wouldn't want to see more.
Patrick, what's your read?
$294 million projected in this fiscal year. A third of that supposedly coming from Encore. The problem is Springfield and Plainridge are not delivering in terms of revenue. The Encore Casino is a shiny new thing. Show me after 6 months or a year what the revenue picture looks like. Right now, it's new. The question is it sustainable? And I don't know the answer to that.
Online sports gambling, yes or no, Adrian, good or bad?
Good.
And?
Good, very good.
Good. Both. Okay. MBTA, the bubbling cauldron of trouble is now boiling over. The latest example is this bus that was on fire in Cambridge, I think it was. This on top of the Boston Globe's report that the MBTA chief safety officer, he was fired for pushing too hard for transparency of problems. Governor Baker says he supports that firing. How worried, never mind how worried should the riders of that particular bus is, but how worried should riders be in general with especially the Baker administration's response so far? Patrick, let's go with you first.
Well, let's remember the safety chief was fired for other reasons too. There were complaints by coworkers and colleagues. There were talks about the way there was talk about allegedly the way he was treating subordinates and others. So there were other issues there. I think that the average rider is angry about this not because of safety, and safety should be a concern, Janet. There's no question. The bigger problem is reliability. I mean, we get to the idea that this is a central part of how you live in this state and certainly in this city and work in this city. And it's been unreliable. At the end of the day, I think the governor has done almost as much as he can do. He'll still be held accountable. But look, no one's addressed this thing better than Baker in terms of infrastructure investment, trying to overhaul the system, actually getting things done. This is 50 years of complete and utter abuse of addressing this problem by both parties and administrations.
Adrian, I know you use public
I am a
transportation.
daily red line rider, yes.
So how worried are you as a rider, and how worried are your people that are on the train with you?
Well, I would agree with Pat about this. My concern is more about reliability than safety. I'm not that concerned about it being unsafe. However, getting around on the T is now a mess. And to say that Governor Baker has done better than his predecessors is awfully faint praise. The fact of the matter is we've kicked this can down the road for decades. And now we realize that we have a system people are really need to be able to rely on. That's completely unreliable. As the traffic mess gets worse in this town by the day, as transportation becomes a nightmare in every way, we need a T that really functions. And the small incremental steps the governor wants to take $50 million that he knows won't fix anything. I mean, it's just not enough.
So let's extend it a little bit to accountability. Through all of this, the Transportation Secretary, Stephanie Pollack, still has the governor's full support. And there are questions about the Registry of Motor Vehicles' lack of attention to out-of-state violations by Massachusetts drivers. Adrian, let me start with you. Was the governor's faith in her, Stephanie Pollack, is it well placed?
I think it's a little exaggerated. I mean, I think it's more faith than there ought to be. Look at the registry. For God's sakes, they're not even opening the mail from other states that tells them what drivers should be suspended. Hundreds of drivers are now being suspended, and the number goes up by the day because stuff is sitting in mail bins that's coming in from other states. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Should the ring of responsibility for that, though, reach the Treasury Secretary,
Absolutely.
the Transportation Secretary?
She oversees the MBTA. She oversees the registry. You know, her secretariat is on fire, as I wrote the other day, and it's always someone else's fault.
Patrick, what do you think?
It's a real problem, and it's very, very hard to defend. It's my Yogi Berra line in politics. Who are you going to believe, me or your own eyes? Every time this stuff happens, people look at it and say, this is not a good thing. Governor Baker unfortunately owns this, but I think the fact that he and the secretary have hired an audit firm who's report in 60 days precisely what's gone on, and the answer to that question, why isn't the mail getting opened? Why aren't we sharing these issues with regards to commercial drivers and problems? And also they've created this role of deputy registrar to deal precisely with these issues. Those are at least ways to immediately address it. It's got to get fixed, though, because at the end of the day, the proof of the pudding is in the eating.
That's reactive. They have to be proactive.
So I just said they've got to fix
crisis management.
Yeah.
And is Pollack responsible?
Listen, I'm going to defer to the governor on that. I would tell you that if it were me, knowing Charlie Baker the way I know him, I'm surprised he's still supporting her.
We continue on the record. Stay with us.
Interesting.